All right, I'm gonna navigate here a little bit in this 3D view. And even pull this over so I got a little more room to kind of show. But as I pull back, this is gonna turn more into a beam, and you'll start to see those sidewalls and stuff come in, and so you can see how it's kind of put together, and do this as smoothly as I can. But it's such a close shot camera; it's a little hard to navigate. But you can see this guy here. I've had to reboot or be able to highlight. Let me get my highlighter turned on. Okay, this should make it a little easier to follow my cursor. Just want to drop this out because I couldn't get that bottom piece to disappear and make sure my recording is actually physically going. So um, it is. So now that I'm in here, so this mortise, or sorry, tenon here, is going to insert into here. I did show a 1-inch shoulder. This hole here is the exact size of this 6x8. And then it's kind of the opposite on the other side, except I flipped the tenon and mortise to the opposite side. And that's why when you look through here, you can't see daylight because they cross each other. But it leaves a ton of meat in this beam. And this is what I described to the building officials today prior to me talking with Josey. And it was a little bit different. After talking with Josey, I did change things up a little bit and not make it quite as dramatic. But basically, what I'll do is I will continue this to where I can show the drilled hole here for the pin and the drilled hole here for the pin and the matching ones that would go here. Now, one of the things that Justin had mentioned to me today was that he didn't think these were getting pins. And so I'd like some verification on that before I go to the trouble of making those holes and the pins for clarity. And this is not our detailing. This is for me to understand what's going on and how we're doing this. And then this distance from this point here back to here is 4 inches. So the distance from here back, I got to kind of turn back to where it hits this part of the beam back in here is 4 inches. And so the beam itself is 2 inches longer than it needs to be because I had 1 inch sunk into this end and 1 inch sunk into the other end. And so the same occurs on this side. This 1 inch face means that the total depth from this surface to that back piece is a total of 5 inches. And now my understanding is you're talking about doing these as 3/8 of an inch. And I just hadn't gone through all the details yet, so I have no problem with changing that because it's not a simple bearing surface because we are bearing all the way back into here as well and tying it in, especially if there is a pin involved. So I am interested in knowing that. So from this video, if there's any clarity on how this goes together, um, as this is what I'm understanding, and so I'm looking for feedback to help me really get it right. These concrete pieces out here, this is the size of that, so it's what I used to subtract to create this hole. This is what I subtracted out of here to create that hole, and then I just changed the material. So, I can make them look a little more realistic, but when you do, well, you kind of lose. And this pattern, I have to turn 90 degrees because obviously the grain's going the wrong way. But I lose the definition. So I'm just going to stay in a a vector style for the purposes of making sure that the clarity is understood. I'm not after renderings and making things pretty. I want good understanding. So this is just the first video for this guy. I'm going to just post it to YouTube, and then we will continue on to get the dimensioning right. I'm going to draw these also in AutoCAD, which will be kind of a 2D view, and then I'll put dimension lines in here with letters on them so that you can tell me what that dimension is if you want it to be other than 4 inches. If you want this to be other than 5 inches with 1 inch here and 1 inch below for the 6-inch total height. So that's enough for this recording. So this is the 8-inch total height, 6-inch total width for the 18-foot tall post. That's where this is being modeled for. So changes to that we'll get to, and I'm going to kind of make this all one email so all the information comes at once, and then these links, there may be more videos. We'll see what I need as I put the whole email together. And thanks, Justin and Josey. I appreciate you guys being patient with getting all this worked out, because it's a matter of confidence for making sure that that this is drawn to Josey's satisfaction and Dimitri's satisfaction, so that I can get him to stamp it, because the county, I can discuss that further, but they may not require this specific joint to be stamped because of what I explained to him about how this was bypassing. So I need to know if that's really what's happening. So they may let this particular joint fly, but they are going to want the plans themselves stamped and other portions engineered and stamped. So anyway, I'll stop for now and hit you up with the next one if another one is required for this video, or for this email. Sorry.